I'm really pleased, thanks to some news today that came, that I've actually been granted access to the DALL Open AI artificial intelligence software. This is really a total passion project for me to dive into this and experiment with it a little bit. I've been following the progress on videos and the media and things like that. Essentially what this is designed to do is to take short descriptions and prompts from users like myself and to generate then an image out of it. And at its core, what it's learned to do from using reference material is understand the connection between words and images, so that if you're to type a particular thing in, it can generate a realistic enough interpretation of that. And this is really interesting because this, it seems, is one area where people still feel that AI is going to struggle in terms of competing with human creativity. I'm pleased to have been given access to this, and I've come up with a few little ideas, partly just because I think they're interesting and I want to see them, but also things that I think would probably be a little bit challenging as well. So first of all, we've got the giant ice cube. This was the main image of my blog post because I was frankly so impressed by it. I'm just looking at it now and really it's so realistic, photorealistic. It's so impressive. I was interested to find out how the AI would handle for example a Lincolnshire landscape, and the ice cube in the field, it just seemed a funny image in a way, and anyway, I would honestly say this was a 10 out of 10 result, so couldn't be a better start from that perspective. Next up, I'm still just sort of nerding out with this software and trying to have all the fun that I can and learn what works and what doesn't. This time, a more retro look, sort of an 80s, now are often referred to synthwave aesthetic. It's sort of a modern take on the neon 80s look. And I wanted to combine that a little bit with something I have seen elsewhere, but still want to see it reimagined, and that's sort of like the retro sci-fi movie posters, these spacesuits that would never be quite realistic, but certainly super interesting looking. And again, I'd have to say, incredible job. It's not super detailed, but it seems more like an artistic choice in a sense, and it's still, as a whole, is a very impressive interpretation of that description. Finally, I've almost got one here that I can't describe in any way. It was a bit of a wild card. One thing you can do with this software is input an image and allow it to generate variations upon that image. The source image was generated from quite a low quality AI. Put it aside, it's too low quality to do anything with, but at this point I decided input that and to see what variations it will come up with. And in a way, I'm almost more impressed by this than the other ones because it's got so little to go on, and yet it could see so much from the image, as it appears to us at least. In this case, as much as there is a slight stylistic change, what I think is really impressive is the amount of extra detail and added detail in the image. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm really interested to see how I can use this commercially at some point. I think it could definitely be helpful to capture some aesthetics and maybe to visualize styles and ideas that you've just not seen elsewhere. It could be a great early stage interpretation for new concepts and designs like that. So I'm looking forward to trying it out further, and I'm sure there'll be more updates to come when I've put some of this into practice for somebody.